Thank you for joining our guitar lessons, our awesome crash course guitar lessons. We pretty much tried to make our guitar lessons fit a whole bunch of useful information in a short amount of time and give you some different ways and different ideas of learning things. So this first lesson, is about just knowing the names of the notes on your fretboard. It's kind of complicated. Some people kind of ignore it, but you should really start to learn it. And it can be really confusing if you just want to think, memorize all the notes. So I'm going to give you a few little patterns and tricks to try to help you understand all the different notes on the fretboard. So for starters, you should know the name of all 6 strings. Just to recap, the thickest one, or the lowest in tone, is your low E. Here's your A string, when you just play it open. Here, when you play this open, is your D, G, B, E. I assume most of you should know that by now, but one more time. E, A, D, G, B, E. Here's all your frets on your fretboard. And notes move around in alphabetical order. So, one thing you got to remember, or 2 things you got to remember. There's no semitone between your E and your F, and there's no semitone between your B and your C. This is something you just got to remember and memorize. It's a little bit easier to see on the piano. There's no black note in between them. But on the guitar, it doesn't have that kind of spacing. What I mean by semitone and tone, well, semitone is a distance between 2 notes. So for example, here and here, that's a semitone, the distance. A tone is skipping a fret. This is a tone. So here's a semitone, here's a tone. That can be anywhere. Here's a semitone, and here's a tone. And it's not just frets, because it means a note. So for example, this here to here is a semitone. It has the same sound. And this is a tone, because it's the same as going. So how did I figure that out? Well, this is an E, and if we count up in alphabetical order, the first fret is an F. Because I said before, there's no semitone in between E and F. There's no extra semitone between E and F. It's just the next fret up, E, F. And the next one, you skip a fret, and it's G. And you can really check for your dots. I mean, your guitar should have dots. Mine has dots on the top. You probably don't see it. But the first dot is your G. So E, F, G. And then after G comes, well, musically, after G comes A. So A is on the next dot. And you should just try to memorize these ones. E, F, G, A. It's useful for so many reasons. I mean, of course, we know our E, but then if we're playing a bar chord, for example, we should play right on the F, the G, and the A. It's also useful because this is an A. This is an A. These are the same note. So some people use this method to tune their guitar. They play this note, they play this note, and it should be the same note. So if this is an A, if this is an A, and this is an A, the same note, same sound. And there's actually on the guitar different of the same notes all over the place. There's different octaves as well as different of the exact same note. We'll get a little bit more to that later. So here's our E, F, G, A. Okay, so now, next string, A. So the first dot is a C, but there's, in between the A and the C, there's a B. So where's the B? Well, A, now we're skipping a tone. Here's our B on the 2nd fret, and then C is our dot on the 3rd fret, and then the next one we skip here is a D. Okay, so far we know E, F, G, A, B, C, D. We're just gonna memorize one more string. So E, A, and then here's our D string. If this is a D, this is a D. D, E, which is skipping a tone, skipping a fret. And then, as I said before, there's no fret, no extra fret in between E and F. So D, E, F, G. One thing we're going to start learning right now is an octave. An octave is 8 notes apart. The double dot here is where our octave lies. I said 8 notes, but there's a whole bunch, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13 is your octave. So that's not 8. Why is that? Why did I say that's 8? Well, in the case of your major scale, if you do a scale, do, re, mi scale, that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's your 8 notes. But so it's called an octave because there's 8 notes difference as far as a major scale goes. But there's 13 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, inclusive, to get your octave. So here's my E, here's another E, an octave higher, which means if this is an F, here's another F, an octave higher. So playing around with octaves is one way of learning notes up here, for example. If this is my first dot here, it's a G, well, an octave higher on this first dot is a G. And if my second dot's an A, there's an A, right? Makes sense? The next dot, the third dot, is a B. So then this is a B. But there's another good way to find an octave. When you play a note, you can count 2 strings down and 2 frets over, and you have this kind of shape. This is an octave. So here's a G, here's a G. And memorize that. It's a quick way of finding G, G, A, here's another A. So if I want to know what this note is, G. If I want to know what this note is, B. And you can, as soon as you get used to that, kind of quick and easy. It's great for bass players. It's great for lots of different reasons. And one more octave shape you can memorize quickly is this string and this string. Since this is an E, this is an E, it shares the same name and it has all the same notes. So this is an E, this is an E, 2 octaves higher. Here's a G, here's a G, here's an A, here's an A, here's a B, here's a B. So 1 fret up from the B is your C. So the C actually is on the 8th fret. And it's not on any dot. The C and this C is the same note. So once you see your B dot, 1 more fret up is your C, and then from there, 2 more frets up is your D, and then finally your octave higher or for your E. So we're going to keep on going down the strings. We got E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, which is the octave here, F, G, A now. Anyways, F, G, same, G on the 5th fret, G here, G, A. Now the patterns that we were kind of getting used to on these strings change. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G is open, 1st or 2nd fret is your A. Okay, then beyond here, you can start using octaves to figure out the notes. For example, we're going to just look again for a moment on the 5th string. Our 1st fret on the 5th string is a B flat. Okay, what's a flat? A flat looks like a little B. A sharp looks like a pound symbol or a hashtag symbol. And what sharps and flats are, well, if this is an F, 1 semitone higher or 1 fret higher is an F sharp. It's called a sharp when you're counting upwards. And from a G, if I go down 1 semitone, it's called a G flat. So this fret has 2 names, F sharp and G flat. And there's like theoretical reasons why. I'm not going to get into that now, but it has 2 names, F sharp and G flat. This one is called a G sharp or an A flat. This is your A sharp or B flat. Of course, your B, your C. And now this dot, the last dot before your 12th fret, is your C sharp or your D flat. Then your D, your E flat. Another good one to memorize is your E flat. Your E flat is 1 semitone lower than the E. So now if this is my B flat, I can do my octave, 2 down, 2 over. This is my B flat. So here's my A, back to the 3rd string. By the way, we number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my 3rd string, 2nd fret, is my A. So G, A, B flat, octave, B, octave. Well, if this is my B string, and this is my B note, here, all of a sudden, it's the 4th fret that's the same. So everything was nice and symmetrical up to this point. A, D, D, G, G, B, B. So from here on, we got to keep this in mind, because anytime we do something that crosses over this fret, we got to shift it up 1 fret. For example, if this is my octave here, here's my C, here's my octave. Well, if this is my F, this is not my F. Because of this change, it's non-symmetrical on the guitar, the distance between here and here, the B and B. Now, in order to make this an octave, we have to shift this up 1 fret. So if this is an F, this is an F, then we go down 2 strings and up 3 frets because of the distance between the difference between this G and the B string. So keep that in mind. So if this is your F, 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 G, G, G. I mean, that might be a little confusing, but honestly, it's a lot better to think of that than to try to memorize all these notes. So if I'm playing this one, let's say I want to figure out what this fret is, or this note is, for whatever reason. Well, I can just do my octave test. I go down 3 frets, up. Okay, up 2 strings, and then they do the same thing again. And then I can figure that that's my A. That's an A note, right? And then if I want to play B flat, there we go. And then it's the same thing when you get to the last string. So now, but the thing about the last string is you can try to, if you memorize this string, then you kind of already memorize this string. So for example, if I want to know what this note is, or just say I want to know what this note is pretty quickly, I can just do this. Check my octave, 2 down, 2 down, 3 frets up, and I notice, well, there's my C, right? So I gotta quickly find that C here. The remaining notes on these strings, if we have this as a B, 1st fret is a C, and our 3rd fret is our D, you can memorize where this is, and then here's an E. So now let's quickly find some E's all on our fretboard. Here's an E, here's an E. We know that, an E, an E, we know this is an E, we know this is an E. We know if this is, we already said this is an E. So now when you go 2 down, 3 over, E, we've already talked about that E. And then octaves all the way up. Here, where our dot is on the 5th fret. Yes. So one more good E to memorize is right here. You should kind of remember this one. So we're going to try to memorize most of the notes, or all the notes, basically, on the 6th string and the 5th string. Here's our A, B, C, D, E. Then, like I said before, 1 fret up is our F, 2 frets up is our G, and then A is our octave. A, B, C, D, E. It's good to memorize where your E's are, because E's are very popular on the guitar. So here's our E, here's our E, right? E here, E all, you know, get used to all the E's. Final string, same as the top string. E, F, G, A. E, F, G, A. You can play octaves. Playing around with octaves is nice too. Just for example, I can play and get used to that. If you know you're playing with octaves, and basically I'm just playing with my pinky or my 3rd finger the octave of whatever's here. So here's my E octave. You move it around. You kind of get used to it and just play around with these octaves, and before you know it, you're going to be memorizing where all these notes are. So E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, E octave. With these little tricks and theories, mainly counting around octaves and memorizing a few notes, you know, just memorize E, memorize G, memorize A, memorize A, memorize memorize C, memorize D, memorize E. Okay? Once you get that, memorize maybe a few more, maybe B and C, and then you can just kind of calculate the rest. D, D octave, E, E octave. So for D, D, and then D. A, B, 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 C, 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 D, D, D. Okay, I hope that helps. I think that's a great trick. That's one of the ways I learned. So good luck with that, and until our next video.
Is this our ending?
Yeah, so you can start.
You didn't start?
No, I mean you can start talking.
Oh, start talking?
Yeah.
About what?
The ending of the video.
I don't know how to sing, how to play piano, how to play guitar, how to play drums, so what can I talk? If you want to follow my Instagram or my Facebook.
So thank you for watching our awesome crash courses. Yeah. If you like this video, if you learned anything, it would really help a lot if you press like the video. If you want to see more of our videos, and it would be a big help if you subscribe to our channel. And over time, we're going to post all kinds of videos about teaching everything. I think our next big group of videos is going to be teaching guitar and a whole bunch of interesting techniques for learning guitar. So, have anything to say?